Hey, thanks for clicking that through. I just sent this guide to your email, and just in case, go ahead and click below. You can actually download this right now, but make sure to check your email because I did email this to you. And in case you don't receive it, make sure you contact me or download it below so you could follow along. So let's get right into it. In this video, what I'm actually gonna do is I'll go through this guide with you step by step, kind of page by page, tell you what takeaways I got from it, and then give you some ideas on how you could use this for yourself personally or for your business or to expand your business or however you want to use it. So again, my name is Maxim Cruz. I am a real estate broker as well as an investor, and right now I'm residing in sunny Miami, Florida. I love this city. You know, my wife and I decided to move here from Boston because we were just tired of those winter days. You know, the winters were long. We like to be outdoors. We like to spend time with our dogs, do outdoor activities, go to the beach. And, you know, just the vibrant culture that was here. You know, if you're living in the cold right now, you know what I'm talking about, where, you know, sometimes you just want to go to work and then go back home and you don't feel like going outdoors just because of the weather. So that was an impact for me. I was, you know, influenced with the weather. Also, you know, just body-wise, I felt like missing out the sun and the low vitamin D. My performance levels being in the cold weren't as high as now where I'm here in Miami. I get to enjoy the weather. So those were some personal reasons why, you know, we decided to make that move, and we've loved every single moment. Miami is a vibrant city. You know, a lot of young entrepreneurs, a lot of young professionals, a lot of hardworking people, a lot of family here. And again, if you have pets, you know, this city is very pet friendly. You know, some of the buildings that we go around, it seems like there's more pets than actually people that live there. And again, this guide will kind of prove what I am saying. So who is in Miami? If you don't know where Miami is, I have another video that I kind of give you the breakdown. A lot of people think that, you know, we're right next to Disney World or we're close to Orlando. So Miami is kind of on the southeast tip of the Florida Peninsula, and Orlando is more in the central country, where we're actually like like a 2.5 to 4 hour drive depending on traffic to Orlando. It's about 220 miles plus or minus. So if you're going down to the Keys, we're about a 4-hour drive to Key West. So Miami is just centrally located. Obviously, we have the Miami International Airport as well as the Fort Lauderdale International Airport that both service this community. And then we also have the Port of Miami and also the Port of Everglades in Fort Lauderdale. So those are cruise terminals and shipping terminals. So there's a lot going on. Miami also has a train system. We have the Bright Line, which right now communicates between downtown Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and West Palm Beach. We also have the Tri-Rail, that is kind of more of the local rail, and then we have the Metro Rail. And then inside the city, inside downtown and Brickell of Miami, we have a free service at the moment. It's called the Metro Mover, so it allows you to get around the city. So Miami is just a vibrant city, and if you live here or if you're looking to come here, you'll see for yourself what I'm talking about. But really, you know, what is a city without the people that are in it? You know, it's awesome to go out to the streets, and it's awesome to go out to the different cafes and the different shops and businesses and get to see the actual people that live here. You know, this is a vibrant, professional, entrepreneur, you know, go-getting community. People love to be in Miami because there's something that attracts them to this city to, you know, take that next move in their life. Whether they want to, you know, start their own business, if they're looking to expand in their career, if they're looking to challenge themselves personally and professionally, you know, this city kind of has the best of all that, and the people that live here are absolutely amazing. I'm sure if you live in another city, I'm sure you're doing amazing things in your city as well, but as a community, Miami just really brings all of that together. So let's get right into this guide. So I actually had the pleasure of going to the Downtown Development Authority and meeting with them and getting this information firsthand and reading through it and really understanding what is happening as far as the urban core, you know, the Miami downtown areas and what is happening. So go ahead and follow along. I'll post little pictures as we go through this video. So this is a short guide. You could probably read it in 15 minutes or less. Most of it is graphics, as you see here, graphics like this, and you'll see these images pop up. And most importantly, is just some statistics about what's going on. So if you follow at all Patrick Bet-David from Valuetainment, I'm a huge fan. He initially did this video where he was talking about his agency, PHP, and how he broke down the demographics. And that got me thinking about, why it's important to understand the demographics of a population and what is happening. For example, one of the items that he referenced was when you look at the time frame of the baby boomer population and when they were born, that's when Gerber came out and how those products came up. And then as when they were getting growing up and they wanted to get a car, that's when the Mustang came out, and that was a high-selling vehicle. And then a few years later, they are getting into their first homes, so real estate was on the rise. So again, it's important to understand what people are doing, because ultimately we know that in business scenarios or for work scenarios or for whatever, it's the people inside the company, it's the people inside the business, it's the people that those businesses serve. That is what makes the difference. So again, this is why it's important to really understand this information, where we are today and where the city is going. If you live here in Miami right now and you're not understanding the boom that we're having in the construction, all the apartments that are coming up and everything else, this guide will actually allow you to start understanding why there are so many developments, even though there are so many places that are still available either for rent or to buy right now. And again, same thing on the commercial end. If you have your business right now in Miami and maybe you're looking to grow or you're looking to change what you're offering, this guide right here will actually help you with that. So let's get right into it. So the first part that this guide does, it shows you kind of where Miami is, right? And what's very interesting is right in the beginning of the guide, they say, look, the population age estimated between 25 and 44 is 45%. This was a huge takeaway. A lot of the population here is young professionals, young people that are, ready to work in a professional field, ready to work, 45% of the population. Now check this out. The population aged 25 plus with a college education is 60%. That's huge when you think of, other cities. For example, I know when we talk about Silicon Valley and the amount of, educated individuals out there, or, central New York or Boston or other, urban cities and how much they have. But this number is huge. So again, if you're looking for employment that requires you to have a bachelor's degree or above, Miami has that fit. There's a lot of companies that are looking for you to come here. If you have a business that is maybe looking to locate to Miami and you're thinking, hey, am I gonna find the right people to fill that business? Come to Miami. Look, 60% of the 25 to 44 population have a college degree, so that might be a fit for your company. So next, Greater Downtown Miami. So this map right here, it actually shows you the different districts. So, a lot of people, when we say, for example, Brickell, or when we say the Central Business District or downtown, we say the Arts and Entertainment, Edgewater, Wynwood, the Design District. So all of this stuff, this is a good guide right here, a good picture reference, which will give you an idea of where things are located. So next, the population. Now, check out this chart. This chart is super amazing, right? So look at it, in the 2000 census, we were at 40,466, and at 2021, the projection is 109,000. So as of 2018, the estimate is about 92,000. That's the population. Now look at, the trends and look at the growth. It's 3.5 compounded annual rate of growth, and then a 19% change in the population, from year over year. So again, it's just amazing to how this thing is changing. So next we look at the population distribution, right? You want to know where it's most densest, where people are actually living and what's happening there. So in Brickell, if you live in Brickell, you know what I'm talking about. So 45% of this urban core downtown Miami area lives in Brickell. Next, we have 15%, which is what's considered the downtown or the CBD district. And then the next one is Edgewater and Wynwood. So again, if you live in any of those communities right now, you know what I'm talking about. You see the buildings that are being built there. You see the apartments available for rent. You see people moving in and out. So again, this information pretty much verifies that. Now, if you're a business, and for example, if you're going to be doing some sort of servicing to people that rent in those facilities, maybe you're a cleaning company looking to get in. Again, this guide is going to help you to say, okay, maybe I want to focus on the Brickell area because I know that 45% of the population lives there. So, you know, that's a very high target market for a certain product that I'm providing. Same thing with restaurants and shops. For example, Brickell right now is one of the most attractive areas for you to go to, and there's a lot of different restaurant options, a lot of different cafes. Downtown Miami, from what I've seen, I actually live in downtown Miami, and from what I'm seeing, this is the next gem. This is where you have the opportunity to place your business right now, and everything that's going to be moving north as we transform all of this downtown area. So again, the downtown area has huge potential on what's happening, and to get your foot in the door right now and to establish your place of business is going to allow you to secure that market share, which is huge when you first start off. Now check this out, the age composition, and again, referring back to Patrick Bet-David, this is huge right here. So check this out, right? Just like I said, 45% is between that age of 24 to 44, so 25 to 44. So again, that is a huge number. And as you see this chart right here, you can kind of see that, just think about it. The people that are in the age group between 25 to 44, which are those millennials and those Generation X's, what are they probably thinking? They have a professional job, or they have a business, or they have something. Things are going well in their career. So next, what are they thinking? They're probably thinking of starting a family, right? So this is where you see that Generation Alpha. This is where you're starting to see that number increase, because again, the high number of individuals that are living here, well, guess what? If they're living here, if they love what they do, they love the community that they're at, they're comfortable where they're at, they're gonna go ahead and start a family, and they wanna continue living here. So again, this is where you see that Generation Alpha is starting to rise. And it's funny because I actually did another video in one of my street tours of downtown Miami, and I noticed Children's Place. Why would Children's Place locate a business in the downtown urban core? It's because they understand what is happening with us. They understand that now is the time to secure their place. It's not 5-10 years from now, when this population has already increased, that their expense, the expenses involved in starting their business or moving their business here in Miami is much higher than now. No, they want to get in now, where it's very, very affordable in comparison to other urban cities, and they want to place their image, they want to build their brand, they want to expand their brand. So then when that Generation Alpha starts to increase and they're here, they're not paying prices all the way up here because they already secured their location. So again, it's very important to businesses to understand this. So look at this, for example, the Generation Z population, which is the age group between 5 to 19, has increased by 69% since 2010. So that means people are relocating from other states. We had some tax changes in 2018, and that brought in an influx of business here, because again, as a state, the state of Florida has very favorable tax advantages to businesses and also individuals that are looking to relocate here. A lot of high net worth individuals, or just individuals that are making maybe more than $75,000 to $100,000 a year, just by them moving here, whether they're relocating inside their company, keeping their salaries, they have an incredible tax savings by doing that. So along with that, they come along with their families, so that's why you're seeing this growth. So next, you know, the population aged by group. So check this out, right? This was amazing to me. 66% of the population are working aged. What that means is if you come here, you have a business, you're gonna establish a business, 66% of the population is working age. How easy is it gonna be for you to find an employee that is willing to work for you? How easy is it gonna be to find a job for you, you know, when you have these companies providing this information? So again, this is just amazing at what's happening here. So my next section, you know, is you know, where it comes to male and female distribution. I know there's plenty of single people that are watching this, so maybe if you're watching this, this is something for you to consider. The greater downtown male-female split is right now about 50-50. You know, in 2010, it was the other way around. There was more females than males. Now it's equaling out. So again, however you want to use this population, maybe you have a business that is targeting, you know, female products or male products, or maybe you're a fitness trainer that works specifically with women, and that's kind of your niche area, or you have a restaurant that calls for couples or dating scene or whatever. I don't know what is it that you do. Maybe this information can help you identify who those individuals are. And again, if you're single, maybe these numbers can help you identify, hey, maybe this is the right market to move into. So the households and the household trends, you know, this is very kind of real estate specific. One of my biggest takeaways is the amount of households that have one person living into them. So that means single individuals that apply these units. And to me, as a real estate agent, this was really valuable because this got me to understand, well, you know, why are the developers building these buildings that have studios and one bedrooms? Well, it's because of this. When you see the amount of people that are single and that only one person is in that household, that makes sense. You know, yes, there are individuals looking for 3 and 4 and 5 bedroom apartments or 5 bedroom condominiums or homes here in downtown Miami or the Miami urban core area. But overall, you know, when you're gonna build a building, this is good for you to know because, hey, maybe I'm thinking of a development where I'm trying to attract, you know, those families, build that family community, do something. Well, guess what? You know, family with children is 18, 16, 17%, family without children, you know, so maybe depending on what you want to do, this information can serve you well as well. So next, as we read into it, and again, I've highlighted some of the items that impacted me. For example, I looked at employment and labor, and check this out. Educational services is 32.5%. So again, if you're in this business, whether you're providing support for education and services, whether you are a teacher, a professor, or some sort of thing, 32.5% of the employment is here. The rest of the numbers are kind of broken down, so that allows you to see, as a working professional or somebody that has a company in this trade, you know, what is it that's happening here. So again, this information is very useful to you. The other thing that I noticed is public administration, professional, scientific, and technical services, you know, were the other large numbers here. And again, you could use this information because, again, if you see that, you know, the educational services have such a large threshold, 32.5%, then maybe your service services those businesses. So that is how you're able to promote your product and you know who you're promoting to. So again, I love this information because it's allowing you to understand where is it that you're going, where is it that you're taking yourself professionally, what opportunities you have professionally, and if you have a business or you're thinking of starting a business, expanding a business, this gives you an idea of, okay, how can I use this information in order to expand that? So this is why it's good to know that stuff. Next is, again, the employment trends, and this chart kind of reiterates just what I just said. Now check this out, right? This was very impactful to me, and I you know, zoomed this in right here. So the downtown Miami population density daytime, during the day, during the day, downtown Miami daytime population is 47,749. I mean, look at how this compares to some other areas like, you know, South Beach or, you know, Coral Gables or Homestead or Aventura. I mean, it is way up there. So a lot of the videos that have actually walked the streets of Miami and I show these coffee shops, you know, these small little restaurants that are having that local vibe community, you know, in my opinion, I've seen a lot of those come up and a lot of them are successful. Why? Because of this high in the daytime population. And what do people want to do to the daytime? You know, they want to go grab lunch at their break, or they want to grab coffee with their clients, or they want to have a meeting at one of these local shops. So this makes sense. That type of business makes sense, right? So next, as we go into it, you know, we looked at what they call the metropolitan context. And I like this comparison because you could see, you know, where we look at other metropolis like New York, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., Boston, Seattle, etc. You know, they look at all these other cities and where they're ranking, and then you could see the population change of what's happening. And it's very interesting how, for example, Houston, I know the Houston market has been very hot when it comes to real estate. Why? Because again, it's because of the people. So look at Houston, 15.9%, right? And then look at Miami, we're 10.3%. So, you know, places like, for example, Detroit, 0.5%. So you can actually see the population growth in some areas. You know, people are actually moving out or decreasing and moving to some of these other areas. Why? Again, for me personally, it was the weather that brought it for me. Also, business-wise, tax advantages. You know, now with all the new tax laws, again, a lot of businesses have moved to Florida, so they have that advantages. Also, if you're, you know, an employee and, you know, you want to live at a state when there's no state taxes, state employee taxes, you know, guess what? This is the place for you. So next, we look at the population and households and what's happening. So that information is there. Next, again, we look at the regional employment trend. So this is kind of stepping back, look at overall at the greater downtown, the metropolis of Miami, and kind of looking at what's happening. Now, this I highlighted because it says it also saw an almost 300% increase in healthcare jobs and 57% increase in accommodations and food services jobs. So again, referring to Patrick Bet-David, and when we look at the population growth, when it comes to, for example, the baby boomers, yes, inside the central core district of Miami, that population for the baby boomers might not be that high. But as they retire, as they need medical services, guess what? We have various hospitals in the area. We have various clinics. So they might be part of the daytime population that come to those services. And then that relates to the increase in the healthcare jobs because of that factor. So it's important to understand where people are in the life of their life and what services they need depending on their age. I mean, obviously everyone is different. You know, there's times that I go to the gym and I see people that are 70 years old that are working out harder than I am, and some of them are even in better shape than I am, and I'm amazed. But overall, you know, when you look at a population trend and what they're doing overall, again, there's people that have master's degree in demographics, and maybe you could do more research on how that affects it. But just start to think, if you know, if you are at a certain age, what services do you need? And then when you look at the demographics of a city and you look at, okay, this is maybe 30% of that age group. If I'm at that age and I need those services, well, guess what? Those 30% of the people, they probably need the service as well. So again, it's important to understand this employment information. Again, going back to the daytime population by density, you know, you could see what's happening in Miami. And again, this is just super interesting. The cost of living, I mean, the cost of living is huge. Obviously, if you are an employee and you're working at somewhere and you're looking at a different job offer and you're like, well, you know, they're presenting me with multiple six figures or this, but the cost of living is so much higher, the cost of gas, the cost of food, all this stuff. So it's important to know that. Overall, the cost of living in Miami, you know, compared to everything else, this says that Miami ranks 26 cost of living overall. And again, they have a Bureau of Economic Analysis, which they reference, that goes here. Now, what I will tell you is that, yes, rents may be more expensive than other parts of the country, but again, when you look at the cost of living overall, the cost of food, the cost of gas, transportation, all of that stuff, this is what this is ranking. And then they do this little chart right here. This information, personally, when I looked at it, I guess being a real estate agent, I can say, okay, well, you know, being conservative, sure, the 1 month with the 1 bedroom monthly near the Miami airport, $1,400, that might be around right. Downtown Miami, it was $1,984 on average, and that's about right. Because again, in downtown Miami, for a 1 bedroom, there are some places that are $1,500, there are some places that are $2,500. So you get that range on a monthly basis. So this kind of gives you that idea overall. And what's really interesting to me is when I saw this, I said, look, you know, for example, when I lived in Boston, I actually lived about 35 miles northeast of Boston. And what I understood, and the reality was that the farther away I got from downtown Boston and Cambridge and all these other places, the less expensive it was going to be. For example, I have multiple units that we own and manage in those places, and the average rent, for example, for a 3-bedroom in Haverhill, Massachusetts, or Methuen, Massachusetts, about 35 miles north of Boston, Lawrence, Massachusetts, is, you know, anywhere between $1,600 to, you know, $2,000. If you were in downtown Boston looking for a 3-bedroom, you know, you'd be upwards of $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, depending on what you're looking for amenities. So what's interesting to me here in Miami is that, look, you know, for example, if you work in downtown Miami, the average 1 bedroom is $1,984. Let's say you wanted to move up to, I don't know, Delray Beach, which is like a good solid hour-and-a-half drive with traffic. You're going to be paying $1,398, which is roughly a $600 difference. So yes, it's a good amount, but when you look at what it's going to cost you with gas and time and tolls and frustrations and what you could do with your time, that is where I'm really amazed on how these prices are kind of the same as you travel along this 95 corridor, and you really have to be, you know, I would say almost 60 plus miles outside of that urban core corridor in order for you to see like half price apartments in comparison to what you're going to get in downtown. So that was really interesting to me. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you want figures for some of these other areas, because I know this information is constantly changing. So again, it's just good to know where we are with this. Next, the migration, and I circled these 2 areas because this was fascinating to me, right? So look at North America, the amount of people that move from, you know, what's considered to be, you know, Canada and maybe within the United States, you know, is 2.1%. I mean, that is a tiny fraction compared to the migration of what we have from Central America and the Caribbean, as well as the South, as well as South Americans. So look at it, that's almost 75% of our migration is coming from these countries to the Miami downtown core area. So again, this was very fascinating. Again, if you have a business or if you're an employee at a company that maybe is located in South America and you're looking to transition, this is good for you to know because you're seeing what it is. And then again, if you have, you know, a business or you service something in, I don't know, Brazil or South America or Mexico or whatever, maybe you can set up your operations here in Miami because the amount of migrants that are coming here, you know, they are coming from Spanish-speaking countries or Brazil, Portuguese or whatever. So maybe you can employ those people to service back whatever is going on there. So again, it's just fascinating to kind of see where the people are coming from. So next, as we wrap up this report, it gives you the income. So again, this is important for businesses. If you have a business and you're targeting a certain income, let's say you're a financial planner, or let's say you're a high-end restaurant and looking to provide some sort of services, you can kind of see this income distribution, which is going to allow you to say, okay, the person that makes, you know, an average $110,000, based on the studies that we have, this is the product they consume, so I can push this product and I can provide this product to them because they are most likely to consume that product. So for your business, it'll allow you to see how this information can fit into what you're doing. Look, in the beginning I said, right, I have dogs and you have pets. Look at this, right? 39% of greater downtown households has at least one pet. So again, if you're in the real estate industry and you're gonna be building a new building and you don't allow pets, where almost 40% of the population has one pet or more, yes, you're still gonna rent it. But where we look at, for example, maximum rental values and what you could charge for rent based on, what's happening in the community, most likely you can get a higher rent because you're a pet-friendly community. So again, from the developers, and if you've seen some of the things that are happening around downtown, you'll see that most buildings allow you to have a pet because of this, because they know, hey, if somebody has a pet, this is the policy that we have. Our rentals are whatever, $200 more than average, but we are a pet-friendly community. So again, people will pay extra for those amenities because they'll have that. So it's important for you to understand that maybe, you have a rabbit or you have a cat or you have a parrot or a dog or whatever, and, you just like having that pet with you. And, the city of Miami is very pet friendly and you can find a lot of that stuff. Next, exercise. I'm recently gotten more passionate about exercise and realizing why this is important to my personal health, why so many individuals are on the exercise track. And also for businesses, a lot of the people we talk to, they can benefit from this information. Check this out. 69% of greater downtown residents exercise weekly. So again, if you're a personal trainer, you need to understand what population you have. And again, going back to this breakdown of the age groups, maybe you become so niched in, if you know that there's a huge target market for, millennials and Generation X's where, there's just so much competition. Well, maybe your niche is working with those baby boomers that are looking to live that healthy lifestyle, and you create a program or you expand a program that's specific for them. So again, that exercise kind of impacted me. And what's good about it, again, if you're looking to move here, if you're looking to move your job, your company, and you're looking to be around other active people, guess what? You're gonna find that. And again, every time I go to the gym or I go out to the street and walk my dogs, you're always seeing somebody exercising in a good mood. You go to the park, some parks around here have, kind of those natural body weight exercises that you could take advantage of. And again, it's just an awesome environment to be in and seeing people up and about. And then finally, as we wrap up these guys, they have some appendixes where they show you some additional information. And at the end, they have some sources and where they got some of this stuff. So look, at the end, and I'll go ahead and write this on the board actually. At the end, my biggest takeaway from this guide right here was kind of the population and the age, right? Population and age. So when you understand the amount of people that are here in Miami and how this is growing, this is naturally going to allow for you to plan for appreciation or growth in your business. If you're in real estate and you're looking, for example, what products is that population using, well, then you can go ahead and design your facility or design your building to service that population. And then next is age. As the younger population, the population that needs school or education services increases, because the Generation X, the millennials, are now having children and they're staying in downtown, how does that age group affect the services that you provide? So look, this guide right here, it's obviously constantly changing information. In the next couple of years when they release the next one and we have some updated statistics, we'll probably be even more excited about what's happening in the city. But ultimately what it comes down to is timing. This was released in 2018. The video that you're watching is being recorded in 2019. Maybe you're watching this a couple of years later, but ultimately it's who is in Miami at that moment and how is that population changing. If you're watching this video now, find out what opportunities you have for yourself personally to either move yourself personally, whether it is to Miami downtown or Miami suburban area or something. If you're looking to expand your business, who is in Miami that can benefit from the businesses that you have, and how can you deliver that product in the most effective way? And maybe it is positioning yourself, maybe it's anchoring down your business in downtown Miami, saying, okay, this is my 5-year plan. We are doing this, we're gonna reach out this community, we're gonna offer these products and services, and that is how you grow and expand your business. So I'll go ahead and leave my contact information here. Go ahead and contact me. Let me know what your favorite part of this guide is. Let me know how this information helped you personally as well as your business. And let me know what other information I can provide you that can help you in whatever it is that you're doing in your personal or professional life, specifically with real estate, and how this can tie in with whatever you're looking to do. So have an awesome day. Thank you very much for tuning into this information. Again, click down below for a copy of your guide, or double check your email because we did email that out to you. So thank you very much. Stay tuned for my next videos.